Hey everyone, this is Staff Sergeant Chase Turner. I'm part of Team Grimm, the best team. We're here to recruit everybody in the Cypress area. You're about to get a presentation about the National Guard. Listen, and I'm about to tell you my story on why I do this. If you look below, you'll see a link for a survey. Fill it out. You hate it? Cool, say it. If you love it, tell us, because we're going to reach out to you. And if you hate it, we may provide you with enough information that makes you change your opinion. So don't be closed-minded, listen. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I did 7 years active duty Marine Corps, 3 combat tours. I'm not crazy. I may look it, but I'm not crazy, I promise. I was in the reserves for 4.5 years. I was a senior enlisted advisor. I was in charge of 128 Marines. Most of those Marines will follow me anywhere because of the type of leader I am. And I believe strongly in it through humility. And actually, humility is why I'm here today. So after the Marine Corps Reserves, I was going to school full time. I have a wife and 2 kids. I couldn't keep up with everything I had on my plate. So I said, hey, I'm not going to do the reserves anymore. I'm going to weigh my priorities. I went to the civilian side and I worked as a supply chain manager in oil and gas. Well, COVID, everybody's experienced it. It made me lose my job. When I lost my job, I was like, oh, what do I do? How do I get my family covered? All I cared about was healthcare. I knew about the reserves. I tried to go back in the Marine Corps. It was about a 10-month wait for me to get back in. So I came to the National Guard office, was in 6 weeks. I was in the fastest I could have possibly been in with any of the other military branches. So with that, I got healthcare right away. Well, I couldn't land a job. So then, since I'm a staff sergeant, I asked if I had any active duty opportunities. They brought me on as a recruiter. You want to know the funniest part about that is? I said I'd never be in the Army and I'd never be a recruiter. And here I am. So, with that said, what I love about the National Guard. Wait, there's more. So, I used to hate the National Guard. I hated it. I used to think it was a joke. It was a joke of a service. It's not. It's more than most of the other branches can offer altogether. And you get more from it. I believe so much in it, I just enlisted my brother 2 weeks ago. He's getting $20,000. He's getting full education. He's getting paid while he goes to high school. And I've got him on a path where he can get a career that's up to $250,000 a year. There's nothing that could do that for you. And you don't have the mentorship of somebody that's been there, failed, and learned from their failures. And that's all we do here. But the best part that the National Guard provides, free education. You get paid while you go to school. That right there is the same as serving 4 years active, putting your life on hold, and having a family and trying to do the same thing. On top of that, there's no other branch that provides the flexibility the National Guard does. But this is my favorite about it all, is the connections, the people you get to experience it with. It may suck one weekend, you may hate your boss, you may hate all of it, but you have a group of people that are there to do it with you. And those people are the same thing that you felt when you were on a high school football team, when you were in a dance group, when you were with all that stuff. You get to build that camaraderie, but the difference between those high schoolers and all of that, y'all will turn into a family. Y'all will come together for vacations. I'm about to do a Friendsgiving in Colorado with no family, only Marines, because the connections that we built through that all. So you want to know more? All you have to do is reach out. Remember, a question unasked is foolish forever. And if you ask the question, you're only foolish for 1 second. All right, so that was a bunch of information, really fast. You're about to get a lot more information, so make sure you have your notes and your pen, and be ready to take copious notes, which means a lot of them. Afterwards, you're going to see my ugly face one more time, and make sure you copy down the contact information and follow up with those questions with me. All right? Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Staff Sergeant Morency. I'm with the Texas Army National Guard. And today we're going to be talking about the Texas Army National Guard. We're going to talk some about our benefits. We're also going to talk about what it means to be in the Guard and a little bit about our history. I won't go too in-depth with our history because there's another video coming out on just our history of the National Guard. We'll also be talking about a little bit on our finances as well. and there's another video coming out on our finances too. So let's get this party started, shall we? All right, so the National Guard. We are about 384 years old. We are the oldest branch of the military. Believe it or not, we're actually older than the United States. December 13th, 1636 is when we have our birthday. And I'll go more in depth in that in our next video. One of the things that actually sets us apart from the other branch of the military is our mission. We actually have a dual mission. We are part of the state and we're part of the federal government, which means that we have two bosses. The President of the United States, he can call upon the National Guard to help in relief overseas. But obviously that's typically as a last resort because he has the other federal branches of the military for that matter. The National Guard is used here within our state. Every state and territory, you'll find a National Guard there. And this comes very important to us because, and I'll use this as an example. You think of a natural disaster like a hurricane or COVID-19 relief, or even the riot controls of this year. Well, the National Guard is used to help in those matters. And this is why it's very important for the National Guard to be present in our state. So one of the biggest things about what it is that the National Guard does, I mean, we are hometown soldiers, which means that our job is right here at home. We are part-time. We work 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. And because we're hometown, and I like to use the COVID-19 pandemic as an example. Right now in Texas, we have over 14,000 National Guard soldiers. And 20% of them, about roughly 3,500 of them, are currently activated for that pandemic. And what we're doing, we're going out to different test sites and we are helping administrators administer tests for Texas citizens and those that are in those certain areas. But that's what really makes us different than the other branches, is our job, our mission, that primary mission that we have to our individual state. That's why every state and territory has a National Guard presence. Now, when we look at the uniform that we wear, and it says the Texas Army National Guard, you'll hear that word Army. What that means is we are a part of the Army. We are part of that big organization. So we train together. We go to basic training together. We go to job training together. A lot of the things that we do together. But when it comes time for our mission, that is what sets us apart. Now, when we look at our jobs, we have over 130 jobs to choose from in the National Guard. And the way that you look at our jobs, look at it this way. If we ever decide to travel and deploy by ourselves, we're able to sustain without being a part of any other branch. Those 130 jobs, I mean, we have airborne infantry, we have military police, medics, mechanics, aviators, human resources, logistics. So you think about it, we have just about every job that you can think of. And the way that you get these jobs is all dependent on your MOS. You're dependent on your score on the ASVAB. The ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. And that is the test that we actually administer to find out whether or not you qualify to join the military. Depending on your score, will determine what jobs out of that 130 you qualify for. All right. Now, yes, we train with the Army. We train with the Army Reserves. What else sets us apart, though? Our education benefits. Our education benefits is probably one of the big things that sets us apart from all the other branches of the military. Now, once you qualify to join the National Guard, and I'll go over the qualifications here in a second, I will give you, or you sit down with a local recruiter and they will give you what benefits for that particular state, what education benefits you qualify for. So let's take a look at here in the state of Texas, right? We have state tuition reimbursement. We have the federal tuition assistance program. We also have the Montgomery GI Bill. And depending on your score on the ASVAB, you might also qualify for the Montgomery GI Bill kicker. All this equating to roughly about $1,100 a month for a full-time student while they go to college. But you might be thinking to yourself, how do I qualify for these things? How do I qualify for these benefits? This is way too good to be true. But just like any job, we do have qualifications, right? And to qualify for the National Guard, number one, you have to pass the ASVAB. You have to score 31 or higher on the ASVAB, 31%. You have to be morally, administratively correct, meaning when we look at your criminal history or criminal past, and we look at each individual separately and on what their charges are, right? Typically, when you have a felony, you are not qualified to join, but we look at those on a case-by-case basis. You have to be able to meet our height and weight standards. You also have to be able to pass our physical fitness test as well. Those height and weight standards are different for everybody, and depending on how tall you are, depending how short you are, depending on your age, all will determine what your body fat percentage is and what your height and weight requirements are. All right. So once you qualify for the National Guard, you'll sit down and we'll take a look at all the benefits that you qualify for. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the main reason why most people join the National Guard. And one of the biggest reasons why someone joins the National Guard is for service, right? I mean, there's not too many times where someone can say that, I live in my community, I work in my community, I serve my community, I protect my community. We're part-time. We work 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. We get full-time benefits though, especially when we look at what it is that we do and what we give you for education. And on top of that, we have other benefits like medical insurance and dental insurance. These are things that are monumentous when we look at the cost of what medical insurance is now within our country. So there are a lot of reasons why people join, but service, I think, is one of the big ones for me, because there's nothing like being able to say that I live, work, go to school, and I protect my community. Now, talking about the insurance, we have people who join the National Guard who know that we have great benefits, know that our insurance, our education benefits are probably the best that they've ever seen. But we have individuals who join the National Guard solely for the purpose of taking advantage of our dental and medical and vision insurance. I know a gentleman who joined the National Guard. He's an attorney, has his own practice, has a family. And during this pandemic, what happens when a family is no longer working? What do you think happens to their insurance? We have individuals that join specifically to take advantage of our insurance. And just to put it into perspective, for an individual who is single, no dependents, meaning they're not married, they don't have any children, their insurance, for their medical insurance, is about $42 a month. Their medical insurance is about $42. Their dental insurance is about $11 or $12 a month. That's less than $55 a month. The gentleman who is an attorney, he has a family. If you decide to take advantage of the medical, dental, and vision insurance, you're going to pay somewhere around $250 a month to cover your entire family. your entire family. Whether you have one child, or you're just married, or you have 4 children, your insurance is about $250 a month. It doesn't change. So we have people that have full-time careers. We have doctors that have practices. We have instructors who have their own, jiu-jitsu studios. They have families. And what's most important is that you're able to take care of your family. For less than $250 a month, you can take advantage of the medical insurance. And at the same time, those same individuals, knowing that they've been doing this for years, said, you know what, I want to be able to give back to my community, but I also want to do something fun. So that 1 week in a month, they want to step out of their comfort zone and do something out of the ordinary, do something that's different. They want to do something adventurous. They want to do something like jump out of airplanes, blow stuff up. They want to do something different, which I can understand. Can you imagine being a doctor and on the weekend still being a doctor? So that 1 week in a month, they do something fun. So your career that you do on your civilian side does not have to coincide with what you're doing in the National Guard. It can be something totally different. You can live 2 lives if you want to, right? But honestly, it is something different. And that's the one thing that I believe sets the National Guard apart, because you can do all you want to do in your civilian life and still give back to your community and take advantage of the full-time benefits that the National Guard has to offer. And I want to tie this up by finishing in on our education benefits. Because we're part of the state, there's no other branch of the military that can say that they get money from the state. This is why we have a lot of people that join the National Guard to take advantage of our education benefits. We get money from the state government. In the state of Texas, we get up to $9,000 a year to help pay for tuition and fees to any public university, any state, school, community college, junior college. We also get money from the federal government. But every branch of the military gets money from the federal government. We're not special in this aspect. We get about $4,000 a year from the federal government. So that's a total of $13,000 a year to pay for your education. Now, I don't know about you, but $13,000 is a lot of money when you look at what it costs per year to go to college. And in the state of Texas alone that I can think of, I don't know of any university that their tuition and fees per year is over $13,000. I think the highest I've ever seen was about $11,500, around $12,000. So $13,000 is a lot of money to help pay for up to 100% of your college tuition. And not to mention the Montgomery GI Bill. You get paid about $392 a month. Money in your back pocket. If you score over a 50 or higher on the ASVAB, the Montgomery GI Bill, that's another $350 a month. You're drilling 1 week in a month. That 1 week in a month, and there's 2 weeks in the summer. So you're getting paid that 1 week in a month. And depending on your rank, you might get paid around $250. So that's over $1,000 right there that you're getting paid just to go to college to get your education. And the only thing you have to sacrifice, is 1 week in a month and 2 weeks in the summer. That's equivalent to about 38 to 40 days a year. And of course, make sure you pass your classes with a C+ or higher. To me, it's a no-brainer. To me, what we do in the National Guard is essential. That's why recruiters are still working today. Because with the pandemic going on, with everything that's going on in our world, this is one thing that we cannot stop. We got to make sure that we take care of our people. Every state and every territory has the National Guard activated right now because of this pandemic. And of course, because of the riots that are going on in our country right now. This is our job. This is what we do. So if you want to be part of something greater than yourself and you want to give back to your community, the National Guard is where you do that. The National Guard is where you will find that small little thing that you've probably been looking for and you don't know where to find. The racial tension in our country, the extremely unfortunate incident with Vanessa Guillen. These things are not the National Guard. These things are not the military. These aren't the things that we were founded upon. Those aren't the reasons why we joined and put on these uniforms. It's not. We put these uniforms on because we want to be that change within our communities. We might not always agree. We might not always understand, but our job, our main focus is to protect our communities, protect our people. That's why we put on this uniform, to be that change. And you can do that with the National Guard. You can do that with us. Let's be that change that we want to see within our communities.
I hope you took a lot of information from that presentation. You took a lot of notes, but hey, the great thing is you have me. So feel free to reach out to my information below. It's got my phone number. You can call or text. You can email me. And then it's also going to have my Instagram handle. So just reach out, add me, message me, pass me on to your friends. It doesn't have to be you that needs help, but somebody out there that you know could need help. So give them my information so I can help them. All right, y'all have a great day.